As always, I need to pull up my live on the other side of the screen, not scream, so I can make sure I am good to go. And we will get started in just one moment. As you come in, say hello. Let me know where you are tuning in from. And we will get started. Just waiting for the live to pop up on the other side of my screen. And as you come in, say hello. And I am legit trying to pull this up on the other side of my screen. You gotta love technology, right? I know that there's typically a delay, but my goodness, a almost minute delay. Okay. Happy Sunday, my friends. Hope you are all doing well. Today is Sunday, January 11th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you are watching during that time frame, you have caught me live right here on YouTube. And if you are watching, come in, say hello. Even if you're watching the replay, I always like to go back and reread the comments. If you're watching the replay, you guys are always so kind to leave me a comment. Hello, Kathy. Welcome in. How are you today, my friend? So whether you're new here or returning, welcome. If you are new here, my name is Tammy Savello, and welcome to Cards by TLC. And I would also love to know if you are watching me, if you are new to my channel. I always like to see new faces as my channel grows. Okay, my friends, today's projects I absolutely love. I was inspired by my dear friend Patty Bennett on this fun new take of the four corner technique using your favorite designer series paper, the Hexagon Punch, which is a fantastic shape punch to have. Your favorite sentiments. The paper that I'm using is actually an oldie. I'm going to turn this on its side so it's not so glary. Is an oldie but goodie. It is the perennial lavender designer paper that can actually be found in the annual catalog. It was a carryover, but it's in the 2025-2026 annual catalog on page 118 in the designer paper. And it's one of those papers that actually carried over. And at first I was like, why are they carrying this over? It's been a lot. They used it a lot, but I haven't used it in so long. It is absolutely stunning. It is great for this technique. So this technique is a great technique to grab your favorite designer paper, your favorite stamp set. But what I love about this technique is you can use any DSP. So it is a great way to use up that designer paper and get it on a project. I know your plan was to use the Hexagon Punch technique. I know it's so pretty. Good morning, Martha. So let's get started. Like I said, I was inspired by my dear friend Patty Bennett, and she made this look so much fun and so easy. So if you're not familiar with the four corner technique, it's when you take a piece of cardstock and let me reverse this here. You take a piece of cardstock and you literally center up a plus sign on your cardstock. And then you just kind of build a scene from there, whether it's flowers, whether it's a butterfly punch. I think I did a four corner technique using the butterflies, and you just kind of go and build up that scenery. And then what you do is you cut down that cardstock into 4 section pieces, and it creates your 4 corner card fronts. So what I love about what Patty did was she took it to that next level, and she made this technique using the hexagon punch. So we're going to do that today, and I'm going to show you 2 different looks, and we'll kind of create as we go along. But sit back, enjoy, and we will get started. So the supplies that you will need. So if you are working with 12 by 12 inch pieces of cardstock, I would recommend picking up different patterns and cutting up into 4-inch strips. It's easy to start with. It's easy to cut out a bunch of punches. We're going to need about 25 if you want to fill the entire page. Like I said, we're going to do 2 different looks. But you definitely want to start off with some designer paper. If you are starting with 12 by 12, cut them into 4-inch strips. Get some coordinating cardstock, obviously, with your color combo. So I have Lost Lagoon, I have some Fresh Freesia, Pretty Peacock, Highland Heather, and yeah, Highland Heather. Sorry, it was like, ooh, that. So I just took some that coordinated with the designer paper. So grab your cardstock that coordinates. You're definitely going to want some liquid glue. I highly recommend using liquid glue for this technique, this particular one. And then grab a pencil, because if you have poor little eyes like I do, once you make your score marks, it's easy to draw that line in with a pencil, and it's easy to see. So I personally like to do that just so I could visually see it, and it just makes it a lot easier. Good morning, Linda. I know, isn't this technique great? Good morning, Anne. Happy New Year, my friend. Oh, Anne, thank you so much for the beautiful card. I still need to post it in the Love to Stamp group, but thank you so much for the beautiful card. You're always so kind. Okay, so like I said, we're starting off with a 8 by 10.5-inch piece of cardstock. I'm using basic white. You can use any color cardstock that you would like. But the reason why we start by an 8 by 10.5, because when we cut a 4 by 5.25-inch piece of cardstock, it's already set to go. So we are going to start off by an 8 by 10.5, and we are going to score that at 4 and 5.25. So you're going to score it at the 4-inch mark here and the 5.25-inch mark horizontally. And what I did is, in the track, I just drew that line with my pencil mark just so it's easy for me to do. And I have already pre-punched out a bunch of patterns. I have chosen different patterns. You want to choose probably about maybe 7, 8 different patterns. I think I only ended up using 6 patterns, but you definitely want a good amount. You can go as little or as you want. You can use it all designer paper. You can throw in solid cardstock, but definitely grab those favorite designer papers. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull these out. I have all the different patterns. Like I said, I cut up a bunch of different patterns ahead of time. And that's what I love about the punch. I miss our shape punches that you could just quickly hand punch out, because if you had to die cut these out, it would take so much more time. So I'm a punch girly. If you are not working on specific dies or anything like that, if you're working on shapes, give me all the shape punches, please, because I definitely, as someone who mass produces, I definitely like the shapes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and, like I said, we're going to start with different looks. So like I said, we have a full sheet look, and then one that gives you that 4-corner look. And this is what you could do. You can start out with that center one, and then you just build up just maybe a layer on each end, and then starting off with the center. Or you can go full max, which I'll show you both looks. But this is kind of like your traditional 4 corners, where you just kind of build the cross, and then it gives you those open sections of a traditional 4-corner look. But I'm going to show you both of them today. But first and foremost, we're just going to go ahead and build up one. I have these done ahead of time because you want to allow yourself for your paper to dry, and before you start cutting into it. So I've done these sheets ahead of time just so I allow that time frame to do that. Okay, let's see. Punches are, I know, aren't they great? Always a punch girly. So I'm going to start off with one center design, and I have these different designs. I have the florals, I have the leaves, I have these with this design with the plaid, and then I have some solid images. You definitely want some sort of solid image in there to kind of break it up. But this is your pattern, your design. You can use any design that you want. I can't wait to use that Valentine's Day paper with this. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this pretty little flower, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the glue directly onto the cardstock. I find that it was a lot easier for me to just do that, and it goes faster if you do it that way. And you avoid getting icky, gluey fingers. So I'm just going to go here, and the point of the hexagon on the top and the bottom is going to line up with that vertical point, and then the horizontal line, you want to go pretty much center up the side panel pieces. So we are going to go right there with those point up. And then we're just going to kind of build outward. And let me grab my sheet here. So what I'm going to do next is I have the center point, and now I'm just going to go ahead and lay out my patterns that I want to do. So I'm going to do some solid patterns off to either side. And I'm going to leave about maybe like you can go as wide as you want or as thin as you want. That's about a good amount in between. You could even go closer like that and add more shapes. So we can go like a thinner line, or you can go with what I did here, and it leaves a more white space. So you can go as little or as much as you want. So I'm going to do some purple ones just like that. And I'm going to go a little bit thinner just so I could show different looks. And then let's see here, I'll do, since I have this pattern in my hand, we'll just go one right there. And then one right here. And if they overlap, that is no problem because we're going to be cutting off. Now what we're going to start doing is we're going to go in between these sections. So what did I do down below? I did one of these patterns here. Let's pull this pattern. Let's see, that's a pretty one with the cute little butterfly. We have that right there. And then I did a plaid right here. And let's see here. The longest part of this technique is just getting the different patterns. Maybe that. And see how you're just kind of going in between that. Going a little bit closer there. And then another plaid over here. And then on these edge pieces, you can take a solid piece and just cut it in half. Let me get my snips and just cut that in half and then flip it around to where those line up just like so. And then let's do so many different patterns. Let's do, okay, I'm still in frame, that's good. Let's do that one right there. Another solid one right here. And this is the fun part, to where you just kind of design and create as you go. Add one here in the middle. Solid. Maybe one of these florals. So if you want to do the full technique, you just kind of do what I just did right here. If you want to just kind of do that 4-corner technique, you would just omit this lineup like that. And then do one more row up here. But I'm just going to go ahead and lay these back down, just so we have our thing. And then let's see here. We have plaid. Plaid right there. Another flower. It's got a little butterfly. It gives you kind of like a different look there. And I'm just going in between. I always like to visually lay things out. And then we'll start gluing down. Cut another one of these in half. Just kind of go like that. And you get the idea. I just don't want to kind of bore you with everything. Let's just kind of lay things out. And then you would just glue them down. Solid one. Maybe one of these. One like that. Hello, Marty. Welcome in. So, and then you just kind of build it out. And then you would just kind of move things out of the way. And you would, like I said before, just add the glue directly to that. So with the magic of TV, I know you're going to be like, oh no. I'm just going to kind of leave these in a pile. We'll glue them later. I just don't want to keep you on here and have you watch me literally glue hexagons to the front of the thing. So this is what it would look like. All glued down and dried and ready to go. This is what it would look like if I stopped it with the 4 corners. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and cut off our edge pieces. Oh, no worries, Linda. You can definitely catch the replay. Have a wonderful afternoon and day. So we're just going to come in, and I'm going to get these out of the way too, just so they're out of the way, off to the side. And we will start off with our traditional 4-corner look. And we're just gonna trim those edges. You can use your paper trimmer. You can use snips. I just happen to have these Teflon scissors that work great. And you can save these pieces to fill in like any gaps on the edge pieces or whatever, but you can use the little, like the little piece right there if you choose to fill it in even more so. But I'm going to leave this as is, and we will cut this, and I will show you kind of what the traditional 4 corners is. So now we can, I'm gonna get this out of the way. Oh, I'm gonna get this out of the way. You don't really need to see that. Love my little tray. And we're going to just cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. And then that way, your panel pieces are ready to go. Okay. Oh. Hold, please. That didn't quite go through. I was trying to be fancy and do 2 at one time, but so here are your 4 corner panel pieces that are now ready to go on card fronts. And you can add your sentiment down here. You can add your sentiments right here. Let me see if the happy birthday would fit. Let's just kind of see. Where's the big happy birthday stamp? Hold, please. How about thinking of you? I can't find my happy birthday stamp. I did not put it back. So how about thinking of you? I think that would fit literally right in there. Yes. So we have our big thinking of you sentiment stamp. Hold, please. Let me grab my clear block. And I think let's get some card bases. What are you guys thinking here? So we have some Lost Lagoon. I'm kind of thinking some sort of purple, so I'm thinking Highland Heather possibly. I don't have any gorgeous grape, but I think Highland Heather would be pretty on that. Or we have some Pretty Peacock. Let's see what Pretty Peacock looks like and Fresh Freesia looks like. Oh, it gives it 2 different looks. You got a nice rich look. Or we have that. Let's see, Fresh Freesia. What are you guys thinking? Love to know in the chat. That's pretty too. I'm thinking purples for sure for this round. Let me grab some Highland Heather ink. Fresh Freesia. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, so let's do some Thinking of You, because these are nice little these are great for thinking of you. And right now we can all, I have some friends that are going through some stuff, and I would love to send them some just thinking of you. And they don't have to be going through stuff, you know, you just have to give them some love. Doesn't have to be a birthday, just to send out a folded hug, right? And my panel pieces got buried here. And with your traditional 4 corners, I think flowers work really well. Like I said, I did butterflies on one of my other 4 corner technique, and I will have to link that in the description box below. I have to pull that. I think it was on a Teach It Tuesday with Tammy and Jenny that I did that. Okay, we have some thinking of you. And we'll throw it on some fresh freesia. And this is a quick, easy way to make 4 cards. And like you could literally sit down and cut up a bunch of hexagon shapes and do it and just sit there. I'm going to do that. I'm going to actually do a bunch today while watching the 49er game. Oh, 49ers, please pull it off today. Okay. That one's really pretty. And it gives you just completely different looks. Isn't it great that this stamp set is fantastic? Another one that I have and I'm going to use probably in the next set of cards is the Simply Said stamp sets. Get a great sentiment stamp set, get your favorite designer paper, cut up a bunch of those scrap pieces, and just have fun. And I won't bore you on adding inserts, but now we have our 4 cards. And our 4 corners. Here's our 4 corner of that. So like I said, pull out, if you have this paper, pull it out, give it some love. It's been a hot minute since I used that paper. So now we have the full Monty. And I think I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer for this one and just kind of trim these edge pieces off this way. That way you can kind of see. Pull these off. It's quick and easy. I'll do the scissors on that one, but at least with these 2 edge pieces, I can pull these off. And then I'll just do the scissors on these smaller ones. Line your blade up with the side of the card. Kind of got a little close there. Go. Push these off to the. Flip this around. It would be easier to just use the cutting guide or paper trimmer, but that's okay. See, I got glue on that one, and I didn't want to get glue in my cutting guide. So if you have some good Teflon scissors, I would definitely use those. So here is this. So let's go ahead and, again, cut it at 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to do this one at a time since we have a thickness here. Okay, so now we have not really our 4 corners, but our 4 panel pieces. So it gives it a completely different look. Absolutely love both designs. So let's see here. Do we want to stick with the purples? Let's see what I have a lot of purple, so I'm probably thinking purple, but look how pretty that is. We can do different ones for different ones. This has a lot of green in it, so pulling in the Pretty Peacock or even the Lost Lagoon is pretty too. This gives it a softer look. So let's see here. We'll do one in one and one in another, right? That's pretty. This is where it's fun having the different color cardstock bases ready to go. We have this one. Let's see. That one's pretty on there. Okay, we'll do this one on Pretty Peacock. Yay, I'm glad. Let's see, this technique would be fun with Cute as a Bug. Absolutely, and in fact, Patty did Cute as a Bug. She did the Easter paper and she did the Valentine's Day paper. So I will also link her video in the description box below for anybody who wants to see Patty's cards. But the Cute as a Bug absolutely would be absolutely perfect. And instead of fussy cutting them, 100%. Okay, we have some purples here that need some love. Any of the new designer paper, I absolutely love it. I just didn't have my designer paper here. So I needed to when I had planned this, I didn't have the designer paper. It came yesterday. So I could have technically pulled out some of the new designer paper, but I really wanted to give our poor perennial lavender some love. It's been a minute, and they become the redheaded stepchildren when we get new catalogs and new online exclusives. I know, this is pretty. This is my wheelhouse of color, along with blues. First and foremost, blues are my wheelhouse, and I have this upside down. Let's do it right side up. Okay, so here we go. Here are our panel pieces. So let's pull in some shapes. I cut out our circle dies, some stylish shapes dies. And so we have our pretty peacock here. So I use the largest stylish shape circle. And then we have a circle right here. I'm going to leave these out. Let's go ahead and I kind of want to hold off just because I want to maybe add some twine and some ribbon, but let me just show you really quick. I need some birthday ones. So birthday wishes would be fantastic. Let's go ahead and at least stamp maybe one of those. That way you have one completed of the look. Let me grab my Pretty Peacock ink. Okay. And then all you would just have to do is just add some gems and maybe some linen thread to this, and it would be fantastic. My gems are a mess right now. I've got to figure out what I still have current and what is retired. So I don't want to show you anything that could potentially not be available. But I will definitely have these completed projects on my blog post tomorrow at cardsbytlc.com. So please be sure to head over there and get the final product look. But that's kind of where we have the full Monty versus our four corners. Absolutely love this technique. Love the idea with the designer paper. You can do circle. You don't have to do hexagon shapes. You can even do circles. I think circles would work as well. I think they would be fantastic. But I want to thank Patty so much for the inspiration. This just... it just opened up, like, you almost want to keep going and going and going with just different papers, and you end up with a lot of cards. So if you're looking to send out a bunch of birthday cards or a bunch of thinking of you cards, this technique is fantastic. Oh, thank you, Anne. I know, reminding us how much it's so great. And I will be sure to include Patty's videos in the description box below, as well as my previous video of my four corner technique. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I love coming on here Sunday morning and just having a sit down and craft, and the purple shimmer dots are perfect because they are still current and they go with this. Hold please. I might be able to grab those. And you're a genius. Here are the purple shimmer dots. And they would be fantastic. As you can see, I have the darker color. I've been using a lot of the purples, but you are absolutely right. The shimmer dots are current. Thank you for putting that in there. And I will be sure to add that to my supply list. So I hope that you enjoyed this. What do you guys like? Or do you guys kind of like the full Monty, or do you like the four corner look? It gives it a completely different look. It's a great way to use up that designer paper. But I absolutely want to thank you for joining me today. And if you like what you've seen and like what I show you, please be sure to hit the like button on this video. That helps my channel grow. And if you have not yet hit that subscribe button, I would absolutely love for you to do that. And hit that notification bell to also, anytime I go live on Sundays and Thursdays, you will see that. Or if I upload a random video in that, you'll get that notification as well. It's continuing watching my channel grow. I'm going to continue doing that. and continuing watching the monetization hours. So that's my next goal for 2026. So I hope that you enjoy this, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Go 49ers, please. We have to win today in order to move forward, but fingers crossed, fingers, toes, eyes, legs, everything. So in this, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, so we are a diehard San Francisco 49er family. So fingers crossed that they win today. But thank you all for joining me, and I hope that you can join me next Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for another new template of Template Thursday. And I will see you all next time for more creative fun. Bye, everyone.